I have this 512 gigabyte Mac Studio to be the ultimate local LLM coding monster. But can it beat the state-of-the-art cloud-based Abacus AI deep agent? We're gonna find out who actually nails coding a web app. It's local hardware versus cloud deathmatch. Let's go. The first contender is my local setup. Everyone talks about running local AI, but usually they mean a tiny model. But when it comes to a large single-shotted code base, no. To get real coding performance, you need size. Here I'm running Quencoder 480 billion model. This is the MLX version, which is optimized for Apple Silicon. It's 270 gigabytes, and I'm giving it full context length of 262,000 tokens. There it is, an activity monitor. It's only using about half of the memory available, but once it spins up, it's gonna use a little bit more. A model this size is usually reserved for server farms. It's heavy, it's slow. It literally heats up the room. Well, any of this stuff will heat up the room, actually, that I got in here. Now, to run this thing, I'm using something called Open Code. This is an agent that I've configured to point to my instance of LM Studio that's running on the Mac Studio, in my studio. The big question is, does all this expensive hardware, 10,000 bucks a pop for one of these Mac Studios, does it actually translate to better code? This is as good as it gets for local AI right now. Now let's meet the competition. The other contender is Abacus AI Deep Agents. Now, you might have seen they sponsor some of my content on this channel, but I actually have been using it quite a lot because they have access to all the different models that I need, even some of the really expensive ones like Magnific to upscale images. And this is 10 bucks a month. Anyway, besides the stuff I already showed you in other videos, they also include Deep Agent. And that has a lot of capabilities like browser use, PowerPoint generation, chatbots. Coding is one of those things. That's what we're going to be doing now. And unlike my Mac, obviously, this doesn't live on my desk. It lives in the cloud, in a data center somewhere, essentially with infinite compute capability. The upside is that it's going to be probably a lot faster. The downside is obviously you're not doing this locally, so you have to trust wherever you're sending your data out to. And that goes for any provider that lives on the internet, for anything. But my audience already knows that. So the stakes are clear. If Deep Agent wins, then we admit that cloud intelligence is still the king for now. If the Mac wins, we prove that with enough RAM, you can be your own king of coding. Now, I don't want to just do like write a snake game. That's too easy. We need a torture test. I'm going to use a prompt kindly shared by my friend Ivan Fioravante. I say it like this because he's been on the channel before.
Boom! It's there!
By the way, you can follow him on X. I'll leave a link to his profile down below. He tweets a lot of stuff. Tweets? Do people still say that? I still say that. Anyway, here's his prompt. I'll link to this down below too. Luxury travel website. Now, this is not just a front end. It's mostly front end, but it does have quite a detailed set of pages that we require and components. And it's got a little bit of back end functionality with a form to fill in. This will require some logic, CSS styling, state management, the whole 9 yards. I've tried similar prompts on other models and they kind of choke on this, especially smaller models. They forget to close brackets or they hallucinate libraries that don't exist. So it's not the simplest prompt, but it's not the most complex web app either. Click on raw here, copy this out. The only thing I'm gonna do is create a new directory here and then pop open code. Select the model I want, which is our 480 billion parameter model that's running on the Mac Studio. I'm on my MacBook Pro right now, but it's connected remotely. And I show how to set all this up in different videos. Members of the channel, by the way, get extra videos where I go into a little bit more detail than I do in these videos. Join up if you want to and appreciate the members. Thank you so much. And here I'm gonna just use the default settings and paste in that ridiculously long prompt, which is 93 lines, and boom. Let's go. Should be doing something right now. I don't know what it's doing, but let's take a look here. Oh, there it is. It's generating and definitely working. You can see it right there. This is the GPU history chart that's coming from Activity Monitor. You get to it by opening Activity Monitor, window, and then GPU history. Another way you can observe what's happening here on this computer is just opening up Mactop. You can install it with Homebrew. I have a bunch of videos on the channel explaining how I set up my development environment on Macs and PCs. Anyway, here it is, Mactop. And you can see that the GPU usage is at 100%. It's fluctuating, but it's mostly at 100%. We still have a long way to go before we use up all that memory. That machine is a monster. Anyway, it's doing its thing. I'm gonna pop open another tab and open this up in VS Code to see what's going on. And it already built a directory structure, but no files yet. Interesting. Okay, while it's doing that, let's do the exact same prompt in Deep Agent. I'm gonna paste that right in here. And wait, before I do anything, I want high effort. I don't want you to be lazy. Yeah, high effort is what I want. Let's go. I've used Deep Agent before, and I know it's capable of doing this pretty well. I haven't tested it with this particular prompt before though, so we'll see what happens here. Oh, I get some questions. Before I built the stunning Aurora Lux travel website, thanks Ivan, should I implement full detail pages? For one, I say, yeah, you should, absolutely. For two, contact form notifications. When somebody submits a form, should the notification email be sent to you? Yes, send it to me, alex@nuvias.com. 3, any specific brand elements? No, just make pretty SVG icons or images. And boom. And now it's thumb twiddling time. I'm out of coffee. By the way, do you twiddle your thumbs while you have agents go to work for you, or do you do something else? I'm not seeing anything output here by Deep Agent. Let's click on this files button and see what's happening here. No files yet. It's still doing the thinking and the planning. Planning is very important when it comes to agents. If you break down all the steps that an agent should be doing, it should be planning first and then implementing. Let's see what our open code agent is doing right now. Even though I had build selected, not plan, I believe it did some planning first. Let me see here. Yeah, here are some planning stages. It didn't do too much. Also, it didn't find node, so that's a little bit of a bummer here. It means it can't do its own tests. So that might bite us a little bit. I do have Node installed, but I'm using NVM and it's not the globally installed node. And I think open code is searching for a globally installed node, unfortunately. But not to worry, I will give it another chance after this thing is done. I will let it know where node is. Well, look at that. It's actually filling out the code one little bit at a time. I don't like what's happening with this tsconfig, unfortunately. What is going on with that? That is an invalid JSON file. Hopefully it'll fix that. What's cool is that it's local, right? So everything that's happening, you can see it happening right in front of you. We don't need this VS Code agent. I wonder though what would happen if you use two agents at the same time on the same code base. Have you tried that? I haven't tried that yet. I should try that. Let me know if you want to see that in another video. That'll be a fun one too. But this Mac Studio is definitely cranking away. Now, I'm no stranger to running things locally. If you've been watching this channel for a little while, you know that. I have a bunch of different hardware that I test for that and make videos about this stack. But there is one common thread here, and you really need to do iterative work on it. It's almost never does it work one-shot it, unless it's something really, really simple like a script. But a full web app usually never works. What's this here? Deep Agent is doing some serious work here. We got some beautiful generated imagery. I want to go there, but is this building me an actual web app? Where do we have? Oh, here we go. Just going through it one step at a time, and it's writing that code pretty quickly. Let's take a look at what's happening in settings. I can't do that yet. Preview and settings don't work yet until probably is done. And then there's this deploy button. I wonder what that does. Now, we're not going this deep, but Deep Agent can actually integrate Stripe right into your websites, which will allow you to take payments. And that's not something you have to manually implement, which is kind of a pain. I've had to do that before. If you go to the website, you'll see all these different workflows that Deep Agent is capable of. It's a general purpose agent, not just a coding agent. It can do coding really well by routing to the proper models when it's required, but it also can do all these other things. Oh, don't you dare try this one. Although this is pretty cool, but please don't do that. You can be a Twitter influencer by following what other accounts are successful at, and it'll automate that for you. Like, we don't have enough of that slop going around. I love coding with AI and using that to help me out, but there is a difference between taking it too far. And you know, any technology can be taken too far. Some people will try to put as much slop out there as possible. I like quality, not slop, but it's available if you need it. Now, Deep Agent can also connect with all these other services. It has built-in MCP servers available right here, or you can create a custom MCP server if you need it. So a lot of flexibility here too. One of the other things that I can see myself using it for is something I really hate doing, is once I have some data, creating presentations out of it. Something like this, export PDF, and boom, Look at that beautiful presentation. All right, let's see how these guys are doing. Oh, look at that wall of blue over here. The GPU is really working hard. That's taking advantage of the GPU right there. I love seeing that. Hardware not being wasted. Here's our friend still writing all this stuff about the Aurora Lux Travel website. Looks like it's getting pretty close to the end here. Not so thrilled about that tsconfig file. I might have to ask it to fix it. What's up with that formatting, huh? All right, it looks like Abacus AI's deep agent is done and it's trying to start up the site. Still doing some finishing touches. Notice that this is task 1 and there's 71 subtasks. There is a limit on how many tasks, the big tasks, you can launch. With the $10 plan. You get 3 of those, plus all the other stuff that Chat LLM covers, like access to the latest models from OpenAI, Claude, Opus, Nano Banana, Grok, DeepSeek, GLM, and then you have other things here like video generation from Luma Labs, Sora, WAN 2.5, Seedance, Kling, VO. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's included in this, but of course everything uses your tokens, and if you need more, there's a pro tier for an extra $10 and $20 monthly, just different levels, and you'll be able to do a lot more with that. Wow, okay, that is very pretty. Look at that, it's got the translucent effect at the top. Nice looking site. It's got the testimonial section that's completely interactive. It's got animations. It's got a form that you can fill out. I wonder if that works. We'll check that in a second here. This navigation at the top scrolls very nicely. I personally don't like auto scrolling like that. It's just my own thing, but at least it's not one of those sites where it kind of hijacks your scroll and keeps you in the same spot. I hate those sites. Let's try this form. I wonder if this is gonna work. Oh, look at that. Interactive widgets. Date selection. Yes, yes, yes. Budget. No, that's too much. Let's go here. Hi. Submit request. This is so cool. This is gonna send an actual email. I gotta see this. No way. Aurora Lux Travel. I got an email. This is a functional contact page. That is cool. So here's a mobile view of it. This is responsive and that works very well with a hamburger icon. That used to be really difficult to do and now apparently not. Deploy. Oh, I can deploy this to an Abacus AI domain or a custom domain or a custom subdomain. Very cool. Let's go with AZ Travel. Deploy. aztravel.abacusai.app. Nice. I probably shouldn't have done that because now you're all gonna fill out this form and send me emails, aren't you? Well, if I get too many, I'll turn it off. Let's see how our local friend did. Oh, still going. It's wrapping up. It says, here is the summary of what we've built. And it's telling you what it needs next. We need node, npm install dependencies, npm run dev, and we should be able to have it running. Is it done? 29 minutes. And yeah, looks like it's not generating anymore. And from our GPU history, looks like nothing's happening. It's done. Let's check it out. npm install. Ooh. Could not read package.json. Oh, our package.json is messed up too. All right, I did say I was gonna give it a chance, so let's give it another chance. Fix the formatting of package.json and tsconfig. Now, if the agent had access to Node, I think it probably would have discovered this. Now, one thing that's really nice about this is that this is the cost up here, 0.00. And yeah, you buy this thing one time, then you never spend any more money. You can keep doing this forever. No, you gotta pay for electricity. Good Lord, what is happening here? Why can't you format these simple JSON files? Oh, did it do it? It did one of them. Let's see what tsconfig looks like. Oh, it looks even worse. Oh my gosh. But it fixed the package.json at least. Why is this so difficult? Okay, good. npm install. Oh, we're in. Okay. I need to go into another folder. npm install here. Yes, we're installing. That is beautiful. 0 vulnerabilities and it installed cleanly like that. npm run dev. Wow, it started? Come on, let's navigate there. Okay, no images, but not bad. Responsive? Sort of yes, but also a little bit messy. Navigation works. Testimonials are just okay. Detail pages are there. Well, it took a lot longer and it didn't do everything, but it kind of worked. This is obviously not gonna work, this email form, or maybe it will. There is no drop downs for the dates, unfortunately. Budget, let's do that. Request received. Now, obviously, it should have given me an error instead because there's no way that's going to send it. There is just no backend that's connected to any kind of SNMP servers to be able to send out emails. Whereas a hosted app like Abacus would provide does have that. And of course, there's the whole deployment story that now you need to take this somewhere, be able to transport this code somewhere, deploy it, set up some kind of pipeline for that. So who's the better coder, the $10,000 local monster or the cloud brain? Here's the reality. If you have huge budget for hardware, then local is going to be pretty good. It's going to get you close, but then there's going to be a few steps you're going to need to complete, even running large models like this. If you're going to be paying for Abacus AI Deep Agent, you don't need a huge budget. You just do it 1 month at a time, and you have access to all the other stuff. But it's a subscription model, just like all the other subscription models go. You're going to have to pay monthly in order to keep it going. But the results speak for themselves. I think this one is the winner. As far as giving me a more complete project that's pretty much ready to go. Of course, I don't know who Victoria Harrington is. Yeah, she's an art collector in London, and that's probably not a real picture, so I'm gonna have to replace that anyway. There's a little more work involved in there too. But then I can go back and request changes and updates to be made, maybe provide real people and real testimonials. Another nice thing here is if you go to settings, you have a database that you can connect to the app. Storage, secrets, all these other options that usually come when you're actually hosting your application are available here as well. So if you want something done quickly and hosted for you, then this is the way to go. What do you think of this tool? I think it did a really good job. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.